Hello and welcome to the latest Player 2 unboxing. I'm your host Paul James, and today I'm here to crack into the latest big thing in terms of PlayStation VR, Farpoint, and this specifically is the bundle that includes the PlayStation VR aim controller and the game itself. Now, before we crack into it, one of the things that's impressed me most, the moment that I actually picked up the particular package, is the fact that when it comes to this, I was expecting this this aim controller to be very much like the old Wii Zapper that we got with Link's crossbow training, where it was just a little peripheral that we basically just slid our PlayStation Move controls into, and off we go. What I've discovered, just from having a look at the box alone, and perhaps you already know this, so perhaps more fool me, I didn't realise that this was like a standalone controller that charges and that it like has the PlayStation Move features in it, all that sort of stuff. It's really, really cool. So we'll get into it and have a bit of a look. But Farpoint itself, the game, you'll see some reviews coming out in the near future. Hopefully we've got one ourselves. But this is the unboxing for the particular game and the aim controller. So, cracking everything open, I'm led to believe that we've got a box inside a box inside a box here. So we'll see what happens. But, oh, we're off to a great start. There we go. Brown box, nothing fancy about it. Continuing further, yep, we've got a box inside a box, which appears to be inside a box. So taking this further, nothing in there. Continuing on. It appears as though the first thing I found may in fact be the game. So I've got the game, there's a little instruction manual for the PlayStation VR aim controller. This particular version of Farpoint that I've got here, not to be sold separately, but you can buy the game at retail or digitally without the aim controller if you so desire. And the main attraction, and the bit that I guess has surprised me most and is larger than I'd expected, this here is the PlayStation VR aim controller. So I am suitably impressed. You know, gotta try and work. No, I'm definitely I don't know whether I'd be looking down the line. Let's put it this way. I've never used a gun in my life, a real gun in my life, so I'm undecided where I am at this point. But will I be looking down the barrel like that? Will I be looking left to right? I don't know. But what's important to note is we do have the light orb on the end. That is how the PlayStation VR works. It tracks the light on the controller, be it the typical Move controller, be it your DualShock 4, or be it the aim controller. What you're seeing at the front here, the two buttons at the front here, are the L1 and L2 buttons. So I guess given that there's indicated L1 and L2, perhaps they're suggesting that I should be holding this front with my left hand, I don't know. On the inside though, we've got our directional stick. I'm going to assume it's like our left stick. We've got the share button, we've got the options button, we've got a D-pad there. We've got our trigger, which, I mean, everyone knows how a trigger works. On either side here, and this is at the front here, we have our PlayStation button in the center, so that'll perform the exact same function as the PlayStation button on the regular control. I think our trackpad equivalent. And interestingly, two R1 buttons on either side. I guess that is for, like, it has the R1 function regardless of whether you're a lefty or a righty, then you've got the ability to still use an R1 button. Doesn't matter. Interestingly, we've got another stick along with the sacred symbols indented into this circle running around the outside of it. So that'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how that works when I'm actually getting to play the game. There is a charger port at the bottom. It appears to run the same charging sort of, it uses the same cable as the DualShock 4 itself, which is great. And I did read on the box itself that it does state that it has immersive vibration feedback. So it does rumble just like the DualShock 4, just like the Move. I'm really glad that I've got this now. This is really cool. Still undecided yet. I think I'll probably have to hold left hand to the front and shoot as it suits. It just feels wrong being a right-hander for me. Just in the real world, it feels different to kind of be leading with my left. But having never shot a gun, I don't exactly know. I'll find something that suits me. But you can imagine the grip there. You're able to control with your stick, as well as you've got the L1, R2 buttons. You've got directional arrows. You've got options and everything right there on my right hand or left, depending on your style. You've got access to another stick here. You've got the trigger. Like, everything you need is right there. It's really cleverly placed. The only thing that you have to really reach for, and I'm curious to see what functionality it has in the game, unless I'm meant to hold my index finger out like this when it comes to playing, then R1 is otherwise out of reach. I think perhaps by design I'm meant to have my index finger or a finger available to reach that button. The only thing I can't quite get to without having to lean across is the PlayStation button on the top, but that's fine anyway because you've still got the ability to pause on the inside here. Game is suspended, then you can flick to your dashboard or whatever it is that you might wish to do. So I'm really impressed. Farpoint itself, I won't crack it open because I've probably got some whatever. I've got some codes in here, so I'm not going to be showing you those, or I'll certainly ensure that I've cached in by the time that you've got access to them. But Farpoint itself is from those at E3 last year who got an opportunity to kind of play it and see it a little bit themselves in person, this is a quite promising looking first-person shooter that uses VR. So reviews will be starting to roll out, presumably by the time you've seen this even, and hopefully ours at Player 2 isn't too far away. But Farpoint itself, sorry guys, I don't have any DLC things in here. There's nothing shifty for you to do. Just got the disc, the game itself. There we go. And the PlayStation VR aim controller. Now that I've got this in my hands, and I'll say this one final time, I am really quite impressed by what it brings. It fits perfectly in the hand. Everything feels like it sits in the right place. It's really logical. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but I don't have small hands either. I feel like I'm fairly average in terms of my hand span. Everything feels an appropriate distance away. Everything feels accessible, like I said, except outside of the PlayStation button, but I believe that that's by design. Everything else is really quite accessible. So I think this is a fantastic thing. Now, the value of this will ultimately, I guess, depend on the quality of the game. If Farpoint is not a great game in the end, it's a tall order to spend what is, I think, 120 or 130 Australian dollars to pick up the game as well as the aim controller. If it turns out that Farpoint is great, and again, I don't know who's reviewing it, maybe it's me, but if it turns out to be good, this increases in value exponentially. This is a fantastic little piece of hardware, and I really, really hope that Sony finds more ways to use it in the future because I quite like that. So, that's about all there is in terms of the unboxing for the PlayStation VR aim controller and Farpoint. My name's Paul James. Make sure to visit player2.net.au for all the awesome written content that's there. Like, share and subscribe to this channel. That's where you'll find episodes of Patched, the Video Games Club. They're every Tuesday, barring some delays and disasters. You'll find them every Tuesday. You'll find lots of awesome trailers. And again, on the site itself, there's heaps of awesome written content from some of Australia's best talent. There is some fantastic people there at the site, so please be sure to check it out. Thanks very much for watching. Paul James P2 for me on Twitter, Player2AU on Twitter. I will see you later and enjoy some Farpoint.